Copywriters seem to have this weird obsession of only wanting to work with coaches and course creators. And truth be told, I've had some amazing clients in these niches. I've worked with big name fitness coaches like Nick Cheadle, I've worked with life coaches like David Key, I've had clients doing Facebook ad coaching like Adrian Richardson, Neil McLean, and honestly, they've been great to work with. But on the whole, coaches and course creators are often broke or they're just stingy with their marketing budget. Plus, a lot of them think that AI can do all their copywriting for them, which makes them really hesitant to hiring someone like you or I. But before you start thinking that all is lost, it's absolutely not. Because there's still a lot of opportunity out there to sign 4 or even 5-figure retainers if you target the right type of prospect. So what I want to do in this video is take you through 5 different niches that are actively spending a lot of money on copywriters and consultants. And by the way, stick around to the end because I think the 5th one might just surprise you. The first industry is authors, experts, and speakers. This is my favorite type of client to work with because they actually care about their voice. So a lot of these guys make their living from speaking from stage or they're on podcasts all the time. They have a reputation as a thought leader and someone who often gets paid for their ideas. And basically they can't take the risk that if they have a very unique voice, they have a unique perspective on things, if they're seen as someone who's at the head of their industry, if their prospects even get a whiff of AI in their copy, it massively breaks the trust. So this is part of the reason why I signed Daniel Priestley as a client 18 months ago. Now, Daniel is the kind of person who you see him everywhere now. He's all over big podcasts, he's speaking around the world. So if he just outsourced his emails to AI, there'd be a huge disconnect there. People on his list would think, well, I've heard you speak and you're a lot more unique than this. You've got a personality, you've got a point of view. Why are your emails and your landing pages just generic and boring? And so I think there's a real scope to work with people like that. It's also why everyone in my current pipeline who I've either quoted for work or we're going for a back and forth, they're all kind of the same. They're going around the world and speaking. They've got books, like they put effort into writing books. They want to put effort into their copy and their strategy as well. They just maybe don't have time. So if you're drawing up a shortlist, these guys would be at my absolute top. One really cool way to find them, go through New York Times bestselling list, go through like whatever the British equivalent is, I don't know, the Sunday Times reading list, for example, and look at what these people are offering. Like, are they offering paid speaking gigs? Have they got courses? Anyone who does, they're a great fit to be a client. Industry 2 is podcasters and YouTubers. The reason why I chose these guys is because they put a lot of effort into their content already. You'll know this if you've ever tried to start a YouTube channel. It costs a lot, and I don't just mean in money. Like in monetary terms, you might have to hire a studio, you might need an editor, you might need a videographer, you might have your own setup at home, but whatever, it's going to cost you quite a bit. And even if you're bootstrapping it and doing it yourself, it costs a lot in time. So all these people who've got big YouTube channels and who've got big podcasts, you know they've invested in that already. The opportunity here lies in what they're not doing. So a lot of them will make revenue in a couple of simple ways. They'll have ad revenue, which is kind of sporadic and can be very up and down. That's like the in-stream ads on YouTube, the stuff that comes up from other companies that will be before the videos, in the middle, that kind of thing. But they will also have their own sponsored posts, their own like affiliate ads where they will do the ad read themselves. The ones you'll always hear, it's your AG1, the Athletic Greens, it's BetterHelp, it's different VPNs, it's investing in gold, like, you know, the stuff. Most of the time it feels very inauthentic. It's very cheesy. Does it work? I don't know. Probably because companies keep paying, but it's still not the perfect income stream for these people. One of the things I like doing when I approach podcasters and YouTubers is being open about the fact that, look, you kind of don't control the platform you're on. If you're a podcaster, then Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever, they control how many people see your stuff. If you're a YouTuber, it's going to be YouTube. So yes, you might have a big audience. You might have a really great way of communicating because it is long form, it's spoken, it's video, it's building trust. But actually, they often don't have very good email lists. They're either not emailing their list or they're emailing them just with really crappy, bad offers that probably aren't going to convert, or they're just leaving money on the table by not having some kind of program or service. This is where if you can think in the right ways, you can put across some very different, very unique ideas to them. You could just go with a very, very simple offer, like I will write your emails for you, or I will create a sales page for this course you've already got. I like that approach. What I like better is a partnership style offer. So look for people who haven't got an offer at the moment and think, is there a way that I can help them create that offer? Have they got resources elsewhere that we can put into a higher value program? Maybe they could offer some kind of coaching model. That kind of thing, it gets them excited because you're showing them a new revenue stream. So as far as those guys go, yes, it's a bit more effort, but honestly, there's so much untapped money in this niche that if you can get a couple of people to believe that you're the person to help them create that, that's a massive in. Industry number 3 is e-commerce. And I'm going to keep this one broad because it is kind of e-commerce across every single niche. A lot of the DTC, which is direct-to-consumer businesses, are absolutely booming right now. Health and supplements, they've never really gone away. They've always been high-value offers that hire copywriters, hire strategists, that kind of thing. The downside of that is often the guys who run these companies are super switched on with their AI, and they're good marketers themselves. So they are the kind of people who actually, as much as I hate to say it, probably could replace some of their copywriter with AI. Therefore, I would go for more of the mass market, slightly niche brands instead. So for example, a couple of friends of mine, they're making really good money writing copy for a company that sells pocket watercolor kits, which is not something you'd ever think would make a lot of money. But actually the company's making like $2-3 million a month purely from these kits. The guys who started the company don't know a lot about marketing. All they know is people really want their product. They're having to push out a lot of creative. They're spending a lot of money on paid traffic. Basically, they can scale a lot faster if they can push out marketing quicker. Therefore, they're more than happy to pay for good copywriters, pay for good strategists, maybe even pay for media buys because they know if they do that, it's going to make a massive difference to their bottom line. Ecom moves fast and people always want to test stuff at scale, which means there's a great opportunity for you. You'll probably have seen this if you browse on LinkedIn at kind of jobs available, if you're part of job connection boards, things like the Nothing Hold Back group on Facebook or the Cult of Copy job board. Even people like Stefan George, I put out a lot of emails that say, I know this company, they're in the e-com space, they're hiring for a copywriter. The thing with this as well that I like is that you can go for what I generally encourage people to do, which is be something a bit different, be like a recurring revenue specialist, obviously an ABP consultant, that kind of thing. But you can still make good money as a plain old copywriter because this niche kind of gets what a copywriter does, and they'll be sending emails and running ads. So it's just a cool niche to get into. Industry 4 is high fee brick and mortar businesses. What do I mean by this? Well, it's businesses like dentists, cosmetic surgeries, it could be financial advisors, wealth managers, anything where clients are paying a 4, 5, maybe even a 6-figure fee for the services. Now, there's a slight con to this niche, which is that sometimes they're a bit skeptical of marketing. They're really used to marketing in quite a traditional way. So it's like word of mouth. They might do local advertising. Maybe they'll run some Google ads and pay-per-click, that kind of stuff. So if you come in with more of like a digital marketing style offer, they might be like, well, we've run this business this way for 50 years. So why on earth do we need that? But I was at a mastermind last year where a couple of the guys were talking about how they've managed to get a foot in the door at these kind of businesses. And the margins they do is insane. So one of them was saying that he was working with a dentist, and the dentist was saying, well, our issue is that our patients are quite high value, but they tend to come in once a year. And actually, we know that most people benefit from coming in 2 or 3 times a year. So the copywriter said, okay, I think we can solve that. And he actually wrote a direct mail piece, so a letter that was sent out in the post. I think he charged about $15,000 for that. And front-end revenue, the dentist took an extra $94,000. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that you can make that sort of promise to a dentist, to cosmetic surgeon, whoever it is in your area, but think about logically, how much more do you think you can make that practice? If they're selling services that are $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, you could easily just make sure that like one sale of their thing covers your fee. It's much more of a low risk investment for them. Now, I do think the process of getting a client like this over the line is a little bit longer, but you could always approach them in the same way you do marketing for them. So if I was going into this niche, I would think about a lumpy mail campaign. And I would come up with a really cool hook about how what I do in terms of copy and strategy could help them get more clients and customers. So I'd do a bit of research. I'd use AI, I'd maybe go to Reddit, I'd look around forums, and I would Google the problems that these businesses have. So maybe I'm going to like a family wealth advisors, for example. I would find out, right, what's the biggest pain point that they've got? Is it acquiring new customers? Is it knowing that actually their current clients would benefit a lot more from spending more with them? Is it the fact that they've got good initial sales, but then people drop off and go elsewhere? Whatever it was, I would find their big problem and I would create a campaign that would fix that. I would even go the extra mile and I would just write the campaign there and then. And I'd say to them, look, I've actually given you this. Normally I would charge X amount for it, but because I want to prove how valuable that my work could be for you, take this, send it, let me know how it works. Now, they may send it, they may not. The point is you're going above and beyond to try and get that client. Honestly, that kind of thing, because there's so much opportunity available, because generally their marketing's not that good, it shouldn't take you more than an hour or two to put together a really good letter they could send to prospects. But the actual fee you could get paid for doing that on an ongoing basis, it's pretty high. You've also got the advantage with this one that actually if there are businesses in your town, just go in and talk to them. A lot of the time people really neglect the power of a local connection and they neglect the power of face-to-face. You could send your initial outreach in the post, then you could pick up the phone and talk to them, or just go in next time you're in town. Like I said, it's a bit more of an elongated process sometimes to get in with this niche, but the potential benefits for both you and the client are so high that I think it's worth a few hours a week to give it a go. And then finally, industry number 5, a bit of a curveball, but that industry is you. So my big thing here is that no client will ever pay you as much as your own offers can make you. And actually in doing this video, I was doing a bit of research thinking, well, is that just a bit woo-woo to say, or is it actually true? So I looked, who's my highest paying client ever? Now, my highest paying client ever paid me around about £500,000 over the course of 7 years. When I look at my own offers, even just the Freedom Kickstarter alone, that made £650,000 in less time. FKS Pro off the back of that, that's made about 250k, and that takes less than 6 hours a week to run. Now, I like working with clients as well. I'm someone who, because I value financial security and because I value variety in my work, I like working with a couple of clients at any one time as well as my own offers. I also think if you're teaching copywriting, consulting, client getting, that kind of thing, you kind of have a duty to the people you help to also be still in the client world. But at the same time, if you said to me, right, you've only got an hour a day to do any work, what do you want to do? Do you want to do client work or do you want to work for yourself? It's a real no-brainer answer. So doing this takes time. And yes, there's a bit more risk because for a client, you get them and they're like, well, yeah, we'll pay you £3,000 a month, 5k a month, whatever it is. With yourself, there's no guaranteed payoff. But I can say with confidence from putting together so many different offers over the years, it's 100% worth it. And actually, even if you are focused on getting clients, some of your time every week should be put into treating yourself as your client. So do your own marketing, come up with your own offers, like be the best self-promotion person you can be, because no one else is going to do it for you. No one else is out there waiting for you to approach them. You have to get out there and market yourself. So yeah, it might not pay off for 6 months, a year, 2 years, however long, but long term, the freedom and income potential that come from marketing yourself as a client is so worth it. So there you have it, 5 industries that need and want copywriters and can afford to pay the big bucks. The opportunity is out there. The question is whether you've got the frameworks to walk into those industries and command the value that you know you can command. And if you think you do, amazing. If not, have a look at the links down below. I've put a link there for ABP Mastery and ABP Elite. Now, you might be interested in those, you might not, but if you're looking for a way to make yourself stand out, to differentiate yourself from AI, and actually to have the kind of positioning that just attracts high ticket clients and makes them want to work with you because you're not just a copywriter or just a consultant, it's probably worth a minute to have a look at it. So whatever you decide, my big advice is just get yourself out there. People still want people. We still ultimately want humans to work with. And actually, the clients and the industries who pay the big money, they want people who understand biopsychology. They want people who think differently, and they want people who aren't afraid to charge for their work. So I think that could be you. All that's left to do is to prove it to yourself. So if you want to see how I do outreach and get some frameworks that reach the kind of clients where you can confidently charge 5k, 10k, even 20k for a piece of work, check out ABP Mastery. I will put some links below. There are 2 options there. There's a course and there's a coach version. Have a look, see which one works for you. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next video.